Okay. Okay, we're back. Where we last left off, Giselle was confessing her stories to Michael of everything that had happened to her. And wow, that is loud. Hold on. That is loud. Okay, we're back. You would just deny everything I said. I didn't think you would actually listen to me. But you did, you listened, and you looked quite distressed by what you heard. I looked distressed. Oh yes, you sure did. I wish I had a mirror to show you. I'm sure you wouldn't want to believe what I said, but you didn't once accuse me of lying. You face up to the truth and you apologized. I seem to have had the wrong impression of you as well. I didn't try to see you for who you were, instead letting myself believe you were someone to be afraid of. To be honest, I didn't like you very much. The feeling was mutual. But for some reason I didn't feel that way now. Is it guilt? I need to apologize to you too. Apologize? For what? I led the villagers here. I almost sold my soul to the devil. I tried to sell you out to save myself. And for that I'm truly sorry. I don't understand. What? Do you need to get down? Do I need to get down on my knees too? No, that's not what I meant. The blame falls on the village for falsely accusing you of stealing. You are a convenient scapegoat for the real thieves. They plan to take advantage of you from the start. That amenity was probably on it as well. To get back at you for rejecting his proposal. Plus, giving the village a single target to let out their frustrations on would in a way help unify them. Use you to meet that end. In order to escape from their trap, you told them about me. But this was after I had threatened you, causing you to flee from this place. You have nothing to apologize for. Still, I still feel really bad about it. So, I'm sorry anyways. You're unexpectedly stubborn. But now that we both apologize to each other, we can call everything square. 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 We're both in the wrong. So we apologize and we forgave each other. She gave a little smile, but all I could do was stare at her, browed furrowed in perplexity, like I was looking at some bizarre fantasyland creature. The weight of our crimes was not equal. What I had done to her was so very much worse. Furthermore, I'm Anton's son. His blood flows through me. Can you honestly say you don't find me revolting? That you're willing to forgive me for that? I didn't think I would be able to. If I were her, my grudge will extend to all of my family, everyone I had ever come in contact with. I can. Although you don't need forgiveness for being his son. Being related to someone does not make you responsible for their sins. It wouldn't be fair to blame you for that. You're curious. What? Curious? About what? No, not that curious. You are a strange creature. I'm human, you know. Yes, I know you're human, but you're making me lightheaded. Is it a medical emergency? That's quite the leap in logic. You know, I was at my lowest just a bit ago, and now I'm laughing again. It's odd. I never expected I would recover at all. I was just as surprised as her. She had been through hell, and she had more than enough reason to despise me, to shower me with vitriol. But instead she was smiling. And even more unexpected was the fact that I felt relieved to see it. Now we're back to Giselle's perspective. I really, truly wish I had gotten to know him sooner. Yes, if I had fled from the mansion in fear of him, Yes, I had fled from the mansion in fear of him, but maybe if I had just a little more courage, enough to tell him the truth, maybe he would have listened. I had let my initial impression of him solidify too quickly. I had convinced myself he was insensitive and perpetually expressionless, save for the Arctic stare. But the man standing before me did experience sadness, pain, distress. Or at very least he appeared to, from where I was standing. Michelle was, just like me, an ordinary person. That said, there was still plenty I didn't know. I was still lacking explanations for much of his behavior. Would you mind telling me about yourself now? I'd like to get to know you better. What are you gonna do here in this mansion all alone? Why do you call yourself cursed? I told you everything. It's only fair you do the same. I have no interest in using your information for anything. I have no reason to. Are you gonna keep pushing the master and servant line? Do you still think I have no need to know? Be quiet! For the love of God, stop talking already. You always pick the worst of times. The worst time. What? Excuse me, what do you mean I always pick the worst time? No, I wasn't. Unbelievable, just when I was starting to think you might actually be a decent human being. Then you go and spout this. No, Giselle, I wasn't talking to you. The witch? Who else could it have been? I was, talking to, you know. I have a condition that forces me to vocalize objection to my own thoughts. You know, that is about as convincing as my allergic to people excuse. Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing. Sorry. Weirdo. What crosses did he bear? What secrets did he keep? Maybe the truth was far beyond my reckoning. And if it was, even if he did, please tell me everything. No matter what you say, I won't doubt your words. I will trust you, and I'm sure I can accept anything you say. Please, if you don't put it into words, I have nothing to work with. Okay. Where should I start though? How about a curse then? Are you actually cursed? That's a difficult question. I cannot, for example, take someone's life with my curse. Nor can I bring about disaster. I don't have any magic powers like that. So what you said outside the house, outside was a bluff then? It was just a way to chase away the villagers. Well, you certainly put on a convincing performance. So you can't actually curse anyone. Huh. Regardless, I am human. Nothing more, nothing less. At least I consider myself one. Others will disagree. And the reason for that has to do with my body. You're albino? Your skin, hair, and eye color, right? Right. No, you're just albino. I guess in this time they didn't know what albino was. Seeing Michael under the sun, he certainly wasn't what most people would consider normal. Awe-inspiring, in fact. Giving birth to me, it broke my mother. No, I drove her mad. Not only do I appear inhuman, I am oversensitive to sunlight. While a little light through the window isn't much of a problem, I can't be outside, directly under the sun, for more than a couple of hours. When she realized I couldn't go out into the sun, my mother started to think I was possessed by a demon. So she banished me to this mansion until my curse was broken. That was 10 years ago. Just because you look different from then. The family reputation was at stake too. If other noble houses realized they were giving refuge to an unholy creature, it will destroy the Boganers. You saw how the villagers reacted. They called me a demon when they saw me. I suspect the rumors about the mansion played a part in that. If nobody thought the house was cursed, they wouldn't have. I'm sure you were afraid as well. You saw me and thought I was not of this world, that I looked like a demon. I thought you looked like an angel. A what? I at least thought you looked more like an angel than a demon. It never once crossed my mind that you might be evil. But I understand your situation now. Because of your parents, you live all alone in this dark mansion. For 10 years. It was never really an inconvenience. They bring me all the supplies I need. You big liar. Have you ever considered running away? That's not an option. Because of the sun? No. I could move during the night if I really wanted to. I'm being watched to ensure I don't leave. Watch. They can't allow anyone to find out that I'm alive, particularly at the Bolganer's estate. If I were to run, they would find out I would probably be killed. And they were to find out I would probably be killed. If only I didn't stand out so much, I might be able to stay out of sight easier. But also, I had been holding on to a little hope, I think. Hope that I might be able to return someday. I have all but given up on that hope now, though. Not that I ever had enough willpower to really fight for it. I see. You don't need to be worried about pitying me either. It's long since become normal to me. That's not something that should ever become normal. So what was that really a moment ago? You don't actually have a condition that makes you argue with yourself, do you? Please tell me. You don't have to believe me. In fact, I doubt you will. You're free to think I'm completely mad. Don't worry, I want to know. I can hear the witch's voice. The witch's voice. It started when I first arrived at the mansion. No one else can hear it either. Like I said, it sounds crazy. Not at all. I said I would trust you, so I believe you. Maybe he's not well. Yeah, that has to be it. 10 years alone in one place and you're bound to start hearing things. He seems like a delicate person too. Thinking about it like that, I'm starting to feel really sorry for him. Do I want to know what you're thinking? I'm here for you. I made up my mind. I'm going to stay here with you. Wait, what? Don't worry. I'll shout so loud you won't be able to hear that silly witch voice anymore. Will you now? If you hear it again, let me know, understood? You don't have to be afraid. I never thought I was. Whenever you hear it, I'll be there with you, holding your hand. Well, we kind of took the extremely long route. But there you have it. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance, Master. Now, where should we begin? I know, supper. Are you hungry? What should I make? Slow down, please. What is it? If there's something you like, I'm happy to accommodate. You actually intend to stay here, again, after what happened last time? Because of what happened last time. What happened? Because of that, we are finally able to see past each other's surface. I want us to try again from the beginning. And this time, actually try to be considerate of one another's feelings. As a promise, Master. Oh, alright. I can stay here, right? I don't mind. I'm glad to hear it. Say. Yes, Master. If you ever want something from me, could I please ask you put it into words? I don't have much faith in my ability to pick up on things. Got it. Then there's something I want to start with. What do you say we open some of these windows? Open the windows. Yeah, we don't have to if you don't think it will cause you problems, but it would be nice to get a little light in here. I like to put an end to this house being a dark, closed-off cave. I wasn't the one who barred the windows. You weren't. They were like that when I arrived. Made it seem like a very appropriate place to lock me away. While I am sensitive to light, yes, as I mentioned, a little sun through the window should not cause any problems. Alright then, can I ask you to help me open them? Let's both lighten up this place. Lighten this place up. After a few moments of silence, Michael gave me a curt nod. While we couldn't do anything about the windows that had been boarded up, the two of us forced open the ones that were just covered by the rust over the shutters. When we got the first one open, a beautiful stream of light like nothing I'd ever seen before. Flood into the dark mansion's halls. I had assumed that spring would never come. All we had to do was talk to each other, listen to each other, and everything else would fall into place. But it was that first step that was so hard, so much harder than either of us had expected. And now that the ice was melting, we had to treasure that. It might not have seemed like much to someone else, but to us it was a huge accomplishment. We're still on Giselle. This time it will all work out, it has to. I had all the confidence in the world when we were together, but now that I'm alone in the dark, in the absolute silence of night, I'm starting to get anxious again. I'm starting to feel like something bad is going to happen. Like I'm going to mess something up again. We took a big step today, and I know I have to keep it together to keep thinking positive. The goods you're after, Giselle, are not cheap. Understand? Thus said the Lord of hosts. The woman had committed 3 sins. She had lied, she had stolen, and she had betrayed her fellow man. Nah. It's alright. It's okay. There's nothing to be afraid of, Giselle. Whatever happens, you have to hold fast to your faith in the goodness of others. You have no reason to tremble. Yes, come in. That's odd. I don't think I was hearing things. There's no one there. What was that about? Oh, a glass. It's wine and it's so warm. I guess he heated it on the fire for me. Oh, you could have at least said hi. Unless it wasn't him. I have a feeling this is going to work out. It wasn't him, though. Michael? Not Michael. The maid. The light shining through the windows is swallowed whole by the darkness. As if to say our time together never actually existed. We saw it though. Together we watched the light crack open in the darkness. I'm begging you, please remember. Please find yourself. Please, Giselle, don't let the things you felt, the warmth that fell over us, remain lost to you. I might have seen it. Seen the most beautiful lights, Giselle. But are these truly my memories? Could it not be someone else's tale? Like all others we have seen so far. She was so bright and energetic, and I'm neither of those. Besides, the maid need not a tale of our own. This is not a story. These are memories. Mine and your memories. No one else. It was all very much real. As were the kinder, happier days that came next. Kinder, happier days. Those words create a strange warmness in my heart. But at the same time, they make me indescribably anxious. Is there really happiness to be found down that road? Even if our past doesn't lead to happiness, it couldn't be worse than where we are now. Come, Giselle. To the spring that made us more than just strangers. Where we're going now? We're at Michael's perspective. Master. Come on, get up. Up with you. Master. Yep, is the bedroom. See what I tell you? It's so much nicer in there with a little light. Morning. Wait a second. Don't you hide under your bedspreads. Get out of there. I'm fine with my room staying dark. What is she even doing in there? Oh, but Master, you agreed that I could open the windows. I did, yes. Don't worry, I've put curtains up. If it gets too bright, you can draw them. The morning takes the best parts of being outside and squeeze them all into the same few hours. Yep. You don't have to go outside in the sunlight for it either. Just listen to all the wonderful sounds. The joyous songs of the birds, the swaying of the trees, the rustling of leaves. Am I being as pushy as I feel right now? Kind of. But you wouldn't be you if you weren't. So for now, I won't get on you about it. Also, now that I know your real intentions, no, never mind. Hee. I completely misjudged you. You're the exact opposite of what I thought you were. What did you think of me? Let's see. I thought you were cold and cruel. Heartless and incomprehensible. Damn. But I'm beginning to get a better idea. You try to put on airs, but you're really rather childish. You have a short temper but can be surprisingly playful. What else? You have a pretty difficult personality too. There's not a single good trait on that list. Now, hear me out there. That's not everything. You give me a chance to talk and you listen intently. You can be kind of nice too. We agreed that we would live together, not just in the same house. So we got plenty of time to add more to the list. And I hope you can make your own list about me too. This is just the beginning after all. We got a long time ahead of us. Plenty enough to get to know each other. No? Yep. Let's not waste any time then. Would you say we do something today that we hadn't been able to before? Where should we begin? Oh, I know, we can get this place cleaned up. You want to clean. Now that there's some actual light in here, we can see all sorts of things that we'd probably rather not. Like dust. All over the place. Hee. My vision was still slightly unfocused, having not completely escaped from Morpheus, Morpheus embrace, but I could see well enough to catch her smiling brightly. That was the first time I had gotten a good look at her in the light. I could see facial features I had missed during yesterday's commotion, and those glittering eyes. Not even a trace of tribulation she had endured tainted her pure, jaded eyes. She is surprisingly good looking. I'm clearly not myself right now. Is something the matter, Master? I know you're still half asleep, aren't you? I guess I'm going to have to throw my best bucket of water on you. Damn. What is a best bucket of water? I'm awake. Is there something on my face then? Just far too amusing to wake up right now. Wait, what? Just far too amusing a sight to wake up to. Amusing? Oh, just get out of bed already. What a noisy morning. I got my first decent look at Michael's face under the light that morning. Watching him stifle a yawn and he was crawling out of bed. All the little details I hadn't been able to pick up on in the darkness, his expression, his mannerism, and the way he looked at me. I could see facial features I had missed during yesterday's commotion, and those vivid, all-consuming red eyes. I was most certainly making a really dumb face at him. It's just me, or is he kind of, no, very pretty? How could I have not noticed until now? Geez, well, I can't look him in the eyes. Yes, what can I do for you? Is there something on my face? Well, no, Hair monster! Excuse me? No, your hair is really long. Yes, that's what it is. It's way too long. Oh. Is that any way for a servant to speak to her master? I'm just kidding. I don't have any interest in holding your status against you anymore. I see. It's really hard to tell if he's joking or not. So, about that cleaning. May I also wash my face first? What, are you going to help? As I just said, I am not going to act like I'm superior to you anymore. Hee hee hee. Wait, what? What are you snickering about? Hey, witch, you want to get in on this? No? Okay. But I can't help it. I'm happy. Hehehe. If my hair really does bother you, you can cut it. Huh? I can cut it? Of course, I give you the best haircut you ever had. But I should warn you, you will want to stay perfectly still. I'm a monster with a pair of scissors. My sister always said you were as likely to lose an ear as you were your hair whenever I cut it. You stay away from me. Stay away from me. I was shocked at how much more comfortable I felt around her only one day following our opening up to each other. Maybe this was normal, and I had simply never felt it before. I didn't know. I had thought it would take years of work to get close enough to someone to be able to have a conversation without picking apart every little detail. But here I was, a day later, already there. Was that how it usually worked? Did people normally get close and draw apart so freely? I didn't find it unpleasant to have someone else around. It was a strange feeling. All that friction had dissipated in an instant, and it was like we had known each other for years. Though not entirely willingly, we began sharing meals, something I had always done by myself. Hey, I see you're shoving aside the parsnip. You need to eat everything. Do you have any idea why there is so much rotting parsnip in the cellar? Because you don't like them? I don't care for it. You could at least pretend to be ashamed. Yeesh, you're not a kid. Don't be so picky. It's not good for you. Hasn't caused any problems thus far. It will soon enough. I can't believe you. We have limited supplies and you won't even eat your vegetables. Oh, question, I got an idea. Go on. Is the list of supplies sent by your family set in stone? Meaning? I was just wondering if it was possible to make a request. If I could, I would just go out on a shopping trip. Perish the thought. The only village around here is the one you came from. Right. Are you saying that out of concern for... Who would ever be concerned about you? I just want to be able to sleep well at night. And I'm not interested in throwing more servants into the lions. You know, you're a whole lot simpler of a person than I first thought. What's that supposed to mean? Oh, nothing. Back to your question about the delivery. Yes, you can. I haven't made any requests recently, but you can write what you want on a sheet of parchment, or if we don't have any, something similar, put it in the box and leave it outside. As long as your request is not completely unreasonable, it should arrive with the next package. Why, is there something you need? Yeah, I was hoping to increase our selection of vegetables. And while I'm at it, if possible. Actually, that's a secret. A secret? Hehe, is nothing too exciting. I'll tell you when the time is right. Our relationship with Michael gradually transitioned from master and servant to something closer to friends. He was still my master, but he's allowed me almost complete freedom. And he didn't order me around either. He even gave me a hand with my work. Though he was still not very talkative and oftentimes hard to read, he at least seemed to be making an effort to close the gaps. He would, on occasions, tell me about himself, though not in much detail, and any time his family came up, he grimaced uncomfortably. Apparently his father had wanted him dead. His brothers, though, had worked to create a scenario in which he could live, faking his death and sending him to this remote mansion. I have never encountered Michelle's brothers while at his family estate. But assuming he was right, and it was one of them who had given me that letter, they were likely our only allies at that house. I don't know what he's thinking. It's been 10 years. Michael had others. had muttered. To which I replied, have faith. It was better to believe in something, even if it felt silly and unreasonable, than to lose faith in everything. My being able to find renewed belief in kindness and the kindness of people was what had allowed me to start smiling again after all. Because I was able to have faith, I was able to enjoy life once more. It wasn't an exciting or thrilling life, it was a humble, simple one with just the two of us. But I wouldn't trade that light for anything. If some people might think it's dull or dreary, some people might think it's dull or dreary, but it was ours. Master, I really truly appreciate that you want to help with the cooking. I do, honestly, but this is apocalyptic. This is mutinous. This is an affront to gastronomy. This is unearthly disgusting. Get me better ingredients. What? I'm not a bad cook. These are simply bad ingredients. If they were better, they would have tasted just fine boiled. And it's not as bad as you claim, besides. You make a mockery of the culinary arts. I've been eating this for 10 years. I don't see a problem. I don't see the problem. I heard quite enough, Master. It sounds like I'm going to need to put your taste buds through some intense rehabilitation. I have to teach him what real food tastes like. Otherwise, he won't be able to appreciate it if I make him something really good. Hold the chair steady for me, will you? I'm going to wipe down the top shelves. I can't handle it. I'm tall enough to reach without standing on a chair. It's as simple as just running a rag over it. I've got practice, so let me take care of it, alright? There's a lot more dust than I expected. I probably should have used something to cover my mouth. You're going to want to hold your breath for this, Master. Alright, here it goes. She's quite practiced. Is there any need for me to be holding the chair? Chew! Because she's gonna fall. What? How? Hold the chair. Ow. I'm sorry, I didn't think there would be that much dust. Thank you for holding the... Master. Your hand is... What? Your hand is, on my chest. I didn't know. It was an accident. Right, it was, it's fine, really. It was my fault anyways. It's completely, totally fine. I can't even look her in the eyes. Could this be any more painfully awkward? So don't worry about it, Master. Honestly, I should be apologizing for subjecting you to that. It's easier said than done. I have to do something about this stifling awkwardness. For one, it was only for a moment. I barely even realized what it was, but that's not the issue. I need some clever way to brush all this aside. Something witty that tells her I'm not bothered at all. I'm not concerned. In fact, I see no reason to be concerned at all. It felt like I was squeezing on a piece of rat, you dumbass. I hardly even perceived it as breast. You're gonna get an obese rat. An obese rat. What? How utterly insensitive can you be? I'm going to rip every last hair off your head. Ah, leave my hair out of this. An obese rat? Really? Oh god. Say, master, what did you do all this time by yourself? That's an excruciatingly vague question. Say, when you were really stupidly bored out of your mind, what did you do to keep yourself occupied? Meditate. Damn. Just how many times have you reached enlightenment? Sometimes I play chess too. Chess? Wait, by yourself? Yes, I imagined how an opponent might react to my moves and play the other side that way. That's kinda depressing to think about. How about this, master? Play a game against me. Do you know the rules? You bet I do. I do come from a family of merchants, so I keep up with trends and, you know, all sorts of game. Oh. Yee, prepare to meet your maker. So, who was I supposed to prepare to meet again? Damn. Come on, have a little mercy, you trounced me. One more time, I just wasn't at the top of my game. When am I going to meet this maker? Damn. Damn! Why, how, when did you put me in checkmate? One more. Damn. Hold on, that's not fair. Take it back. Damn, damn. Ah, my king. Please stop. Amateur. Can't you just go a little bit easy? You never asked me to go easy. This isn't a game, this is slaughter, this is a one-side massacre. About this maker. I'm looking right at him. That was actually kind of fun. No, it wasn't. It was miserable. Next time we're playing something fair. Such as... let's see. Oh, I know. Arm wrestling. That's not gonna be fair. Arm wrestling. Yeah, you sit across from each other and put your elbows on the table, grab hands and see who can pin each other down. Who would ever willingly practice in such a primitive competition? Not interested then. Not interested then. Or are you afraid you might lose? Alright then. I can't imagine losing to a wolf. Oh god. Okay, elbow on the table. Start on my count. Ready? Near. Victory! How much more of these are we gonna have to go through? Oh, everywhere is not dark anymore. Nice. Life has been brought back to the mansion. With each passing day, it grew less and less unusual having Giselle always at my side. I began more freely engage in silliness, speaking my mind and showing emotions. I could say her name and Giselle would turn around and smile at me. An unimaginable sight not long ago. For 10 years I had lived alone. Solitude had been my normal. But that was very rapidly changing at her hands. We were continually getting closer, yes, but not in a romantic sense. If I had to describe it, I would say good friends was probably the most apt. Time continued to press on, our relationship remaining relatively stable. Eventually summer came, bringing with it the longest periods of sunlight I had ever experienced in many years. Then the leaves began falling from the trees, and before long the world grew cold and dreary. That winter, the fireplace was never without crackling blaze in its belly. The boiled wine we drank was undoubtedly middling and cheap. But she said with a smile, I have never had wine this good before. And though I didn't say anything, I felt the same way. The sun set much earlier, and having stopped using candles, we found ourselves habitually gathering around the fireplace when it grew dark. Oh yeah, reading. Reading a story by the fireplace. We're still at micro perspective. Reading a story by the fireplace is almost makes me feel like we're in another world, doesn't it, Master? I bet that's why troubadours perform at pubs, so they can be near the fire. Oh wait, I heard this already. Oh, because there's Ale. Drunkenness make like gin ale, like I'm just gonna assume that means alcohol. Drunkenness makes even bad singing and storytelling pleasant to the ears. Oh, you're such a cynic. But that's okay. Say, yes. Do you remember when I first arrived here? When I was cleaning the library? Please don't tell me you're bringing that up. Please don't tell me you're bringing the obese rat into the backup. No, not that. Before that. Before we could actually talk to each other. I believe I suggested we read something together, if you ever felt the inclination. You might have. I can't say I remember. Are you sure about that? You turned down my proposal saying I was wasting my time. But look, it actually happened. Even if you don't remember, I'm sure you never thought this moment will come. I was, for the most part, focused on making sure things didn't get any worse between us. Aww. But to be honest, I didn't expect there would ever actually come a time we would sit shoulder to shoulder reading a book. You never know how things might pan out. Actually, I do remember. Do you? Oh, I thought it was a witch's book they're reading, but it's not. I remember how I tried to push her away, how much I mistrusted her. I was nothing but hostile towards her. People change, and perhaps if they can, so can the future. Maybe I can hope that like our friendship, there might be a chance the future might take a turn for the better. Is something the matter? I don't... I don't much care for hypotheticals, but if, by some chance, I were someday... I were someday to be able to return to that house, that... should that time come, that house is home to her nightmares. Even if it didn't happen until after my father was gone, it wouldn't erase what he had done to her there. She act like nothing's wrong, though. I don't know. I have her wounds heal, or will they still remain? Should that time come, if that day may come, if that day comes, I will do what I can to ensure you have a comfortable life in the city. Though I will not be able to inherit the estate, I can work something out. I see. Thank you very much. But if you would be comfortable doing so, I would be pleased if you were to join me. I mean as a servant. As a servant? Yes, a servant. We're on short hands. I see. A servant. Do I really need to repeat myself? Yes, a servant. Hehe, alright, sure, I think I will. I would like to accompany you, master. How exciting. I'm sure a wonderful future awaits us. I pray so. Probably not, considering where you are now. Now back to the story. I believe we had just gotten to the point where the knight set out to defeat the monster and save the princess. That sounds like a boring story. I bet he was a big, buff, muscular knight. So let's not talk about how muscular he was. She let out a gentle laugh, and I thought I smelled something sweet on her breath. What? Was it her sense, or perhaps just my imagination? I had no way of knowing. We sat so close, even the slightest shift seemed sufficient now to allow me to hear the sounds of her heartbeats, causing mine to accelerate. Curiousness flooded my mind. What might she be thinking right now? What does she think about me? As much as I tried to banish them, I frustratingly failed. I was just getting caught up in the moment. I had just barely lost my way. I thought, though I tried to convince myself otherwise, it was all in vain. When had my pulse gotten so rapid? When had my skin gotten so flushed? When, how, why this was happening to me? I thought I had already learned my lesson about having feelings for someone else. Ooh. We never get to learn Michael's past. I want to know Michael's past. Before long, winter retreated and our second spring came to take its place. A full year had passed since we had resumed living together. And I don't think it was my imagination that this year felt much warmer than the last. Spring seems to have arrived a bit earlier than in previous years. One night, when the breeze carried on its pleasant residual warmth, Giselle escorted me out to the garden. Come on, master, hurry up. It's the middle of the night. What's so important? I just found it myself, and I couldn't wait until morning. A rose, it bloomed. A rose. Oh, right, a rose. Jill Wow, did I forget her name? Giselle had over the past year cleaned up the nest of weeds that had been strangling the garden. Off to the side of a small plot of turned soil swayed in the wind beneath the moonlight was a single red rose. When did you? Last year. I requested flower seeds, but I just couldn't get them to grow, and I was starting to think they never would. But look, it's only one, but it did. I had no idea. Of course you didn't. I didn't tell you. Why would you keep it from me? I wanted to make a gift for you, Master. What? Why? A rose makes a wonderful gift, supposedly. No, that's not what I meant. Why me? I haven't given you anything. Consider it a symbol of my hope that we will still be this close another from here from now. If we are, then this is yours. I don't follow her reasoning. I don't follow it at all, but the sight of the deep red rose almost melting into the dark night was perhaps the most wondrous thing I ever seen in my life. I have never understood why some people found flowers so enchanting. They were always just plants to me. But that one on the night was undeniably beautiful, majestic. And like a young child seeing a flower for the first time, I had my hand automatically reach out for it. Not knowing the proper way to appreciate flowers, I didn't gently caress the petals or take in its fragrance, but snapped its stem. Why would you snap a stem? Oh, you picked it. Are you going to bring it back to our room? To your room? When I finally processed her question, that was when I realized I probably should have left it to grow in the garden. From the base of its stems, the way I had plucked it, a droplet succumbed to gravity and fell to the earth. With it came a delayed realization that I had ended the plant's life. But it was overpowered by a childish possessiveness. The stunning flower was mine. Moonlight trickled down from the heavens, giving a gentle blush tint to my hands, and a smile on her face. You're going to need a vase then. Give me just a minute. For the briefest moments, the moonlight must have played a trick on my mind. Oh. Huh? This is what we saw the last time. Master. What on earth am I doing? Hey, what, you wanna go on this? Why do I keep waiting for the switch to appear at the smallest moments? Because I know, like, I'm probably missing something. Or at least I'm thinking I'm missing something. A look of bewilderment filled Giselle's face, just inches from mine, which hammered in the reality of what I had just done. The thought had just crossed my mind that perhaps her black hair might prove a good backdrop for the rose, but it was supposed to remain a simple fancy. What was that about? An excuse. I need a good excuse. A drawing. A drawing? Right, I would like to preserve it on a canvas. What? I mean, the rose on its own doesn't make a very compelling picture, so I would like to include you as an accessory. Damn. Wait, you want to draw me too? Merely as a background element. You're slightly more interesting than a vase, that's all. Aww. How is it all gonna go to shit? This is all gonna go to shit, you know it's gonna happen. I've never seen you draw anything before. I just got the urge. You know how? Many years ago, my brother taught me. I don't think I can handle being a model. I never had a drawing done of me before. You would probably be better off with just the rose. You gave it to me, didn't you? That means I'm free to do with it as I please. I did. I didn't mean to sound rude. Sound so rude. I had no real interest in drawing the rose. But I couldn't just take it back either. Giselle has struck back quite visibly, and I couldn't bring myself to look her in the eyes. So I fled to the cellar in search of supplies to escape the oppressive awkwardness. At the far wall, I found a rectangular panel of wood and several sticks of charcoal. My materials were obviously nothing compared to what a court artist might use. But I was clearly not going to be able to do the portrait of any kind of justice. I was clearly not going to be able to do the portrait any kind of justice. God, what am I doing? I want to bury my head in the sand. Giselle was waiting for me in the stained glass chamber. It seemed she was still just as uncomfortable as when I had left her. She gave me a fleeting glance before averting her gaze again. If only she would laugh or make a scene like usual, it would make things so much easier. Why did she have to choose now to start acting meek? What should I be doing? Stay perfectly still, please. Do you need me to pose this or anything? No, just get comfortable. That's kinda hard to do. Look away. Why? It's hard to work when you're watching me. What? I feel like I have to sneeze. Hold it in, please. Damn. What's now? Can I see it? I barely drawn anything yet. As long as our eyes did not meet, I was able to observe her. And my gaze was quite clearly not focused on the rose, but Giselle. At first I had regretted my in-the-moment proposition, but I was beginning to think it hadn't been such a bad idea. Without some sort of pretext, I would never been able to examine her so intensely. I didn't have that kind of courage. This isn't like me. But what was like me? What did I prefer? Did I prefer being a sharp-tongued, unapproachable recluse? Was that what I wanted to strive for? Giselle was like a gale. Her mere presence dispersed the gloomy cloud that had always hovered around me. Think about it. It's practically a miracle that we ever ended up so comfortable around each other. That she's still here right now. Lights from the moon spilled through the stained glass window, taking on multitude of pale tones before falling on her white skin and jaded eyes. I had stopped sketching at some point. Oh, Giselle's perspective. What in the world was going on? One of my roses had finally bloomed, which I thought would put a smile on Michael's face. But rather than improve his mood, it had made him go all strange. It had made him say he wanted to draw something. I had never seen Michael draw anything before. I can't sit still. I tried to sneak peeks of him every once in a while, but every time our eyes met, he gave me a stern, look that way stare. So I ended up spending the whole lot of time looking at the Archangel in the stained glass window. What could he be thinking? Could this be thanks for the rose? I'm pretty sure he's not the type who would consider a drawing an expression of gratitude, though. If I'm wrong about that, it turned my whole world upside down. Maybe he wanted to draw me. No, that's not possible. That would turn the world upside down even faster. He couldn't. We're close, to be sure, but we're not that kind of close. What makes it sound like? That makes it sound like Michael's attracted to me. And there's no way. There's absolutely no way. He compares me to an obese rat and calls me amateur at chess. And calls me an amateur at chess, laughing while he crushes me. So that's not what this is it? Oh yes. If it's too much trouble, you are not free to leave. This will take a very long time to complete. Oh no, no trouble. You had a very stern look on your face, that's all. I was doing a bad job at hiding it. I don't want to force you to do anything you don't want to. You don't want. It was foolish of me to ask you, I'm sorry. Honestly, it's no trouble, I mean it. You just took me by surprise, that's all. I'm not even that great of an artist to begin with. That's not a talent I was blessed with. If I'm being honest with myself, I can't imagine anyone would be pleased to have bad art drawn of them. What was he getting so negative about? I wasn't the only one making a face. His head was turned slightly downward, a forlorn shimmer in his eyes. I had never seen him make a face like that before. He resembled a child who had just been scorned by his mother. I wasn't at all angry or displeased with him. I was just fine, honestly. I had to get that through to him. I am pleased. It doesn't matter how it turns out, you drew it for me, Master. Whether it's good or bad is irrelevant. I would. But the moonlight shining through the stained glass was so enchanting. I lost myself in it. I would be happy with anything drawn for me by the man I love. For an instant, time froze. By the time I realized what I said, my mind had gone blank and I couldn't form a coherent thought. Yeah, I mean, like, you know, like family, like the older brother to me. I meant love, like love for a brother's own. Hey, say something, Master. Give me your usual fired side. Come on now. Come on, give me your best, good grief, and then hurl me out of the window. What? Oh, come on, please. Show me some disappointment. Master. When the wood panel he was using as a canvas and the charcoal in his hand crashed to the carpet with the floor, the clattering was so loud I jumped. I didn't have the presence of mind to wonder why he had knocked over the canvas, or why his hands appeared to be shaking. Let me help you with that. I stepped towards him, and when I did, the moonlight shining down upon us intensified, and our gazes. Oh! We're switching perspectives of Jade and Ruby intertwined. Oh, so now we have Giselle and Michael. Giselle. Michael. There was a visible rose in his ethereally pale cheeks. Master. Flickers of panic darted beneath the surface of his normally stony red eyes. They were trembling as he looked over me. I was lost for words. We must have been under the moon's spell. We weren't thinking. We stood alone in a frozen world, robbed of all rational thought. Riding the moonlight's currents, his hand fell against my cheek. It was much colder than I expected, but it felt pleasant on my flesh skin. As we drew closer, I could feel the warmth emanating from his body, and I'm sure he could feel mine. Beating of my heart, too. His breathing stopped for a moment, then he gulped. He brought his head in. I closed my eyes and... Oh. Yeah. Then I shoved him away with all my strength. Michael rolled back, knocked his head on the side of a pew, and began groaning in pain, which is when I finally realized what I had done. What have you done, Giselle? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. Hey, are you hurt? I'm fine. Sorry, you started me. I really, truly didn't mean to knock you down. You should go back to your room. I'm sorry for all the trouble I caused you tonight. Well, get some rest. Good night. He turned away, marching off into the corridor and shrouded in darkness. There was a heavy air of loneliness hanging over him, which gave rise to a phantom image of him actually disappearing into the darkness. How did I cause that? But I hadn't realized until it was too late. It felt like someone was sitting on my chest. Why would I ever do that to him? Of course I'm going to hurt him reacting like that. Maybe I was hoping he would say it was just one of his jokes. Do I want it to be a joke? I had that option, but I couldn't pretend nothing ever happened. And tomorrow go back to the way things were before. But if I did that, there would almost certainly never be a second chance. You were okay with it. You wanted it, Giselle. Quit lying to yourself. You're the one who said you loved him. And that was no mistake. You wouldn't sit shoulder to shoulder reading a book with someone you didn't care for. You wouldn't enjoy eating supper with someone you didn't like. You wouldn't be able to live happily with someone you didn't love. You wouldn't have to go after him. You have to go after him, find him, tell him the truth. What am I doing, for God's sake? I'm not in my right mind. Something about me was off today. I couldn't control myself. The things I was saying, I didn't mean them. I didn't mean. Doing things I didn't intend to. I never meant to do that. But at this point I had no choice but to admit my feelings. I couldn't pretend I didn't know what they were anymore. How long I had felt this way? A week, a month, 6 months, or maybe a full year. Had they already developed when we started anew? No. The when didn't matter. It didn't change the facts. I was still attracted to her regardless of when it had begun. But she pushed me away, quite literally. I sighed at myself. Why should I be disappointed? She was nothing like me. I was reluctant and unsociable. She was the exact opposite. She was the kind of person who would comfortably tell someone how she felt. And she had done exact that. I said I was like a brother. But I hadn't listened. As a matter of fact, could I have been any more presumptuous? I don't deserve to love anyone. It's better this way. Master. What? I told you to go back to your room. Master, I need you to listen to me, okay? What? But, what just happened? That doesn't count. You can't count any of that. Huh? That I said I love you, and that I shove you, that they don't count. Right, I was planning to forget that anyways. So don't worry. No, that's not what I meant. What I'm trying to say is that it's not something that I should have said on a whim, just because the moonlight was kinda pretty tonight. It wasn't supposed to be so casual. The way I said it doesn't get across at all how much I really care about you. It should have been something with more impact rather. Me looking you straight into your eyes, my heart jumping around like it's on fire, like how I should have said it. That's how I should have said it. What are you? I'm saying I want you to give me one more chance to do it right. Giselle. Calm yourself. I am calm. In no sense of the word are you calm. Fine, then I'm not calm, but I am clear-headed. I mean every last word. Listen very carefully. I love you. I love you so much, I can feel my heart is going to explode. What? Huh? You mean like family? No. Like brother, right? Romantic love, romantic. What? What? I wasn't upset back there. No, I was elated. What? My mind couldn't keep up with what I was hearing. Half out of breath where she stood, Giselle was frankly insisting that she loved me. Was I dreaming? Master, how do you... I would like to hear, how do you feel about me? Assuming I interpreted that correctly, you were going in for a kiss back there, right? Right? So I can take that as your answer. Uh, Giselle look up, look up at me with barely eyes. She had feelings for me. It was a miracle. I could hardly breathe. It felt like someone had struck their hand in my chest and was squeezing at my heart. I just had to say yes and smile, and a smile would have spread across her face. I could bring her joy, and all it would take was a single word. I had no reason to say no. My happiness was standing right there in front of me. What more could I ask for? All I had to do was reach out and claim it for myself. I had tried to do exactly that in the chapel, and I could do it again. I I love her. I was a twisted man cast out of the world and left with nothing. I had no way of making her happy. But still, I... Don't tell me you've forgotten what you are. Tell me. I... There was no moonlight to give me that nudge. Oh, you dumbass. I do not feel that way about you. What? I got confused for a moment. I apologize for the misunderstanding that seemed to have caused. All the colors drained from her like a flower wilting before my eyes. A heavy sigh fell from her lips. Her jaded eyes swayed lifelessly back and forth. I hadn't thought a mere love could possibly have such weight, but she looked as though I had just told her she was to be executed. I see. I'm sorry. I let it get to my head. I had sorry for making such a racket. Really, God, what was I thinking? I got way ahead of myself there. Her flax energy hurts to watch. I had hurt her, but this was the result. And this was the result. You wanted to protect yourself even if it meant hurting her. But look at where that got you. You would have been better off just going with it. Are you the witch? This voice here, are you the witch? Because when she learned the truth, she would have pushed you away anyways. I'm sorry, I'll be going now. Sorry for barging in on you like that. She made her way into the shadows towards the door. There, you did it. You preserve your peace. I got a feeling she would never again turn back. Your mistake was never getting close to anyone. What I had always wanted was right there in front of me, and I was so close to obtaining it. And you pushed her away. I actually did love her. She would never love the real you. No, she couldn't. Ooh, Michael's backstory, please. You're disgusting. I can't believe you actually had the gall to fall for me. Oh. Good night, Master. She was leaving. I wanted her here, and she was leaving. I simply had to acknowledge my feelings, and she would come back. Was I really content to let her go? In my weakness, I mistreated her, I hurt her. I let her go, and I was about to lose her. Even though she said she loved me, I felt the same way. Wait, please don't go. Your voice is shaking like a scared child. What are you hoping to tell her like that? She was different. She was probably no. She absolutely was nothing like anyone in my past. She wouldn't be any different. I decided I would try just one more time. To believe in yourself and to believe in someone else. I lied. Giselle, from the bottom of my heart, You'll regret this. No, I won't. I sincerely love you. Aww. The fragments of rose enveloped me. Her arms wrapped around my chest were both imbued with strength and shaking like mad, as though the slightest touch might shatter them. Why didn't you just say that in the first place? She said, quivering, sniveling voice just inches from my ear. I lacked sufficient control over my mind or my body to return her embrace, to run my hands through her hair or do anything more than support her weight. I'm sorry. Jerk, bully, brute. You don't get to play this one off as a joke. I'm truly, sincerely sorry. You've given me two different stories. Tell me which one is the truth. Were you just confused or do you actually love me? I want to hear you say it again. The truth is, I love you. Again. I love you. Without fumbling this time. I love you. I said it several times now. Not good. Not good enough. Again. Have mercy, please. I'm about to die from humiliation. I can. Can I really believe you this time? You're not gonna say you were lying again. No, I won't. Then we both feel the same way about each other. Shockingly enough. What there's to be shocked about? I didn't think there was anything likable about me. You really do have something about that pessimism. You really had to do something about that pessimism. I'll try. I'm in heaven. I'm so happy I could cry. You are, all over me. Oh, thank goodness, thank goodness. When you first said no, everything went black. I was sure what I would do anymore. I had lost all hope. I really do feel bad about that. But you had a change of heart. Now you're willing to have me. Yes. And everything I bring with me. That was the idea. Absolutely everything, right? You pushed that point rather hard. I have a request. It's something I don't think I can ask you at any time, but anytime now, but while we're in the moment. I will do anything as long as it's within my ability. Tell me, what is it? What do you look? The fuck? What? Will you look at my naked body? What? What? Yeah. That's the reaction that everybody expects. What's it? More specifically, my scars. Oh. That would make sense. You're going to have to see them eventually. In which case, I would like that to be now. A year ago, I had refused to look at her scars. I've been certain I wouldn't be able to accept what they represented. The abuse my father had subjected her to. If possible, I would have preferred never having to face that. But more than anyone needed to know it was my responsibility. I had to accept reality, not to grimace or avert my eyes. I had to face up to what had been done to her. Okay. Oh, don't tell me I need to edit this part out. Please tell me they censor it, please. I couldn't bring myself to look at her as she hastily derobed. The sound of her robes rustling made me feel as though I was doing something incredibly improper. That means I had to go and edit this part out, oh please no. Just in case, for that, I'm ending the video here. Just in case, right? Just in case, like, I need to do any edits, I'm gonna end the video here. Actually. Because I think it's been a good episode. Good video. Video. So, hold on. Not there. Yes. Moonlight spell. Nice. I really hope they censor it. Please, oh please, oh please, please. Oh god, please. Okay, I'm ending the episode.